What is up with it? I'm back. Alright, literally nobody's here. Oh, I'm in the wrong chat. How in the actual fuck did that happen? I'm literally in a pop-out chat that has nobody in it. Hello, everyone. I wandered into some shit on Twitter, dude. I wandered into some stuff. Are y'all seeing what's happening on Twitter? Can someone tell me? Yeah, I got questions about, like, where do you draw the line about slurs? I mean, I don't fucking... What? Don't you just listen? I don't understand. Like, yes, you have to use your brain. Here's the thing, everyone. Let's pick up where we left off last time. Let's just pick up where we left off last time. Here's the problem, in my opinion, with the government, society, etc. You can't call a spade a spade in this fucking world. Are you kidding me? I can't tell. Look, dude, I can show you someone who I tried to talk to in good faith. I'm telling you, I can use my human senses, my fucking human intelligence that was gifted to me by years of evolution, right? Look at what this person is saying to me. This is bad faith. I can call a spade a spade. Do you know how easy it is for me to do that? You know how easy it is for me to look at this person and say, no, you suck. You are not trying. You're trying zero. It's obvious. That's how I know. Do you agree in saying the most valuable thing a human could obtain is perspective? Maybe not the most valuable. Okay, so I have a theory. I was talking to Toph about it, about the Triforce. Power, wisdom, and courage. Perspective is like wisdom. It's super important. You can do a lot without perspective, though. I think perspective is really important. For sure, though. The more perspectives that you can hold at once, I don't know. I think that I've spent a lot of time getting good at holding perspectives. That's like why probably I feel like I can, basically when I read something, for me to say like, hey, I think that was crossed the line or not, I'm trying to hold as many perspectives as possible. I'm trying to think about sort of all the different kinds of people that I've met in the community. I don't think it's that hard. I'm so sorry. I gotta say it. I don't think it's that hard. Does that make sense? I don't think it's that hard to tell, like, who are the people who are kind of, like, trying and who are literally not trying. I've just never found it to be difficult. I don't think that people are that good at not giving a shit and pretending to give a shit. Does that make sense? It's like, basically, this is what I love about Melee. It's like, if I can sense that you actually care about Melee a little bit more than, I don't know, yourself, then it's pretty obvious. And if you don't care about anything other than yourself, more than yourself, then I also feel that's like kind of obvious. Ben SW actually was in town today and we got dinner and we talked about it. What moment of my Melee commentary is most underrated? I don't know about underrated. I don't remember what the moment was, but I remember I said some shit that I thought was really funny, and it wasn't even in the Mop Bob commentary highlights. There was one moment that was in the Mop Bob commentary highlights where I listened to, and I still think it's funny, where I talked about the irony of DJ Nintendo and like East Coast DI. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Can someone link to it? It was actually, I went back and listened to it because I couldn't believe that I finished the thread. It was like a very complicated idea. But anyway, here was the point. I was watching DJ versus someone. Whoever it was hit him with a move at like 70 or 80, and he died away. He thought that it was going to be a combo, but he got mixed up and got hit with, like, say, for example, he got hit with a knee at 80, but he was expecting an up air. So he died away and he died. And I observed that because I've been there, right? I know the history from firsthand lived experience. On the East Coast, we used to DI everything up and in. Everything. DJ in particular had very, very good DI, very good survival DI, but we were on all survival DI. We did no mix-ups, right? We would just DI in. So basically the thing that I said was, if DJ was watching this, DJ from the past was watching this DJ from the future, he would have commentated the match and he would have said about the Fox who DI'd away that he didn't drink his DJs. When in fact, he was actually just like a better version of himself. I always find those things funny, like when people are ignorant. Like, this ties perfectly into ignorance, because the joke was about the loops, but it was about ignorance. It was about starting from a place of ignorance, but being confident about it, thinking that the only reason someone would DI away at 80 on a knee is because they didn't drink their DJs. They don't know how to hold up and in on the stick. But in fact, West Coast people were DIing away because they were on a next level trying to DI out of up air strings. Meanwhile, East Coasters were just saying, execution test. I don't think you can hit the up air string. So then he got better, but like from his own perspective, from the past, he would have said that he was worse. Anyway, it took me this long to say it live, but I said it hella nice on commentary. I like made the joke. So I think that's kind of underrated. Did it feel gratifying to say? Yeah, I think I thought it was funny. I don't know. When I'm commentating, I just move through it. Why are your convictions more valuable than someone with convicting values that have equal conviction? I don't think, Kazvat, I don't think anybody has equal conviction, dog. Do you know how I know? Because I will sit down and I will discuss the issue, and I trust myself that whenever I get to the place where I don't know, I say I don't know. Here's why I think my convictions are stronger than most everyone's. They don't say they don't know, even when we're talking in spaces where I know they don't know. In other words, if I start talking about Melee and someone starts telling me that I'm wrong, red flag. If I start talking about Melee, anyone else who has an equal amount of conviction ought to ask me questions about it. Do I know everything? No, I don't know a lot of things. I actually am super comfortable with my ignorance. But yeah, people who don't know Melee better not be telling me that I don't know. Ooh, Jacob Bowser, I'm so happy I saved you. Technology is a burden for social interaction, 100%. 100%. Right now, technology is not helping. How do you overcome the fear of ignorance? Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Not weak sauce, yes. The fact that you only know English is limiting. It actually is. It actually is. Never really conceived of human motivation as having a core. I think it absolutely has a core. It's like demystified to me. All right, let me try. So, y'all know that I was like a black sheep or whatever. So like I came up. I think that some shit probably happened to me when I was 2, where my brother was born, and okay, y'all, if you're not parents, you may not know that being a parent's super fucking hard. Yeah, you're responsible for another human. It's actually crazy. It's too hard. I don't know how anybody does it. So when you have a second kid, you have 2. And children need a lot of attention. It's my belief that attention is I talked about this last stream, but it's my belief that attention is, you call it maybe the unit of social value. If you feel that I am giving you my attention, it's good. Feels good, generally speaking. And I'm sure y'all know that sometimes kids act negatively and badly on purpose because they believe that the way that they get attention is through negative actions. The way that they get attention is negatively or whatever. And so they just keep doing the thing that works, right? It's a system, cause and effect, feedback loop. So anyway, second kid, right? And I think that probably what happened is that my parents paid less attention to me overnight once this fucking brother of mine was born. So I think that messed with me. Yeah, Dr. K was talking about this with his daughter, and he had to pay attention to her for like a year before she felt secure in her attachment, right? So, okay, I felt like some abandonment shit. Nobody's fault. I don't blame my parents, obviously. Didn't have a lot of friends in school. I actually had friends, and then like kinda it didn't like work out or whatever. I think that there's like an abandonment cycle that happens. So it's like if somebody looks at me funny or whatever, I'm not having a second kid. That shit is not happening. No way, dude. Then I think that and actually when I meet new people, I notice that sometimes I'm not nice to them. And I think that I may have a weird defense mechanism where I'm trying to basically say, hey, this is who I really am, and are you going to be friends with me? Or if I'm not nice to you, like, is that a deal breaker? Because I can't guarantee I'm going to be nice to you all the time. I think that shit's happening in the back of my mind. So anyway, that happened. I deconverted myself from Catholicism. So that's actually kind of tough. I've been thinking about this. I was thinking about it today as I watched the dishes. washing my hands in the sink. And I'm just thinking to myself, damn, actually, according to my own theory of belonging and stuff, religion's very, very powerful. It plays into all of the markers that we look for belonging. You got a name, right? We're Catholics. You got to practice. You show up and you sit. Pretty much all you need to do is say, yeah, I believe. And people are like, yeah, cool. You know, you're in with us. It's a low-level gang. Yeah. Gangs up the intimacy and the intensity. But anyway, so for me to just say one day with no replacement, right? I didn't have a replacement tribe to be a part of. I didn't have a replacement like identity. I didn't have anything. I actually remember I was in the confessional. I was talking to the priest. I told him, like, I'm not sure if I believe anymore, homie. Melee didn't come for a minute. This is junior year of high school. And he said, well, you know what, son? You know, go sit, go pray. And I prayed, and I just made up my mind. I was like, look, God, if you're up there, I'm sorry, man. I you know what I told him? I told him I can't be your friend right now. I wish you would have given me like one clue that you were there. But, you know, I'm just going to bet that if you are up there and I live by Jesus' teachings, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to live a good life. And if I get up there and it's judgment day and you get me, I get got just for this, that's fucked up, man. So I deconverted, you know, talking straight to God, assuming like if he were there. Why did I leave? I left because I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true, man. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I don't think it's true. That's why I left. I felt that I wasn't able to be myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like I couldn't hold my worldview together while holding this like God thing. Am I introverted? Yes. Yeah, I'm like, dude, God, if you're going to get me just for this, that's messed up, dude. That's messed up. I'm betting on God that he's not that petty. Come on, man. Are you kidding me? He's that petty? He's going to be like, dude, you followed all the rules. You really cared about people. You were nice to my, you know, my religion stuff. But you know what? That one time you said you don't believe, so you're fucked. You're out, dog. Go to hell. I would be like, what? Fine, send me there. I don't even want to hang with you guys. That's what I would say. That's what I made up my mind that I would be like, you know what? I'm not even going to hang with you guys. Fuck that. I want to go to hell, dude. That's what's up. All right, so anyway. Yeah, it's a very scary... Belay MC, it is very scary to deconvert. It's very, 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 very scary. But, you know, all right, so I did it, and now I've got nothing. Yeah, being a lesbian is wrong. I don't want to be right. Dude, it's a very powerful construction. I was realizing that, so I was doing I'll tell you some shit that I said in therapy. I care about people's feelings. I care about how you feel. All of you. I care about how you feel. I want you to feel safe. I want you to feel good enough. I'm not fucking kidding. I care. And okay, I can say that here because, you know, this is my home. Melee is my home. But I can't say that at work when things get hard. People don't want to hear that. Like that makes me soft or some shit. It makes me stupid. Like, or if I'm thinking about hard problems. When I think about hard problems, right? When I think about it isn't cool to care. Isn't that fucking right, Sir Nifmaster? It is cool to care. When I'm thinking about hard problems, I have in my head the idea that how people feel is important. And I use that in my analysis, my cold logical analysis. I just have that in there. But people don't respect that side of the analysis. So anyway, I have this complex where when I talk to people about intellectual stuff or I try to explain my ideas, I have to hide the part of me that actually cares about you and me, and so I have to hide that part. But one of the things that I said in therapy was very powerful for me was just to say out loud, like, yes, I am dumb enough to think that how people feel is important. I am dumb enough to feel, oh, what's up, Mango? Yeah, hang out, guys. I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about some shit that I said in therapy. But it was very empowering to just say, you know what? Like, if smart is that I don't care about you and I don't care about me and that feelings don't matter and that all that shit doesn't matter, then I don't want to be smart. I want to be stupid. So I deconverted. I found the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Richard Dawkins, Hitchens, rest in peace. Pour one out for him. Sam Harris, and the other guy. That other guy. I got super deep into like the new atheism shit. I got really deep into it. I thought that, and I think that that was a, Dan Dennett, yeah. I think that that for me was a belonging thing, right? Like I felt my whole life I was persecuted by religion or whatever because like I didn't belong and I knew I didn't belong and blah, blah, blah. Long story short, this whole time I'm trying to think about, I was an edgy atheist, rationalist, MFer. I was one of those. At a certain point, as I got older and wiser, in my opinion, I realized that the rationalists, quote unquote, or whatever, like sometimes, damn, dude, sometimes they don't understand their own ignorance, I think. That's the way that I would put it. Yeah, the skeptics. I am a true skeptic. Like, to this day, I would call myself a skeptical empiricist. I'm skeptical as fuck, man. I don't believe any of it, but I feel that there's you know what I mean? I feel that there's a narrative behind the rationalist community. There's a narrative behind the atheist community. There's a narrative that they buy into. That's going to be in my paper too. I actually have to write that right now. A narrative. Dude, the narrative is so crucial. The narrative getting out of control and running the people is a belonging identity thing. Okay, so here's the symptoms of belonging poverty. So there's belonging poverty and like identity insecurity, which I think are literally two sides of the same coin, all right? So there's scarcity of like places where you can belong, places where the core of the identity is like hatred or scarcity are especially seductive. This is alt-right shit, dude. So in other words, imagine for a second that it's just true. Imagine for a second that it's just that I'm just right. Just imagine for a second. Just play with it. Just play with the idea. Like there's no belonging. Like you can't really, you don't know what groups you're a part of. I'm in Melee. That's the one place where I feel like I hang that jersey. You can't take it off me. If all society falls apart, I feel like, the Melee heads are going to come together. If I can't trust anybody, I trust the Melee heads. So imagine we all feel like, we should belong, people should be treating us better, and they're not. And basically what I'm saying is like we have a sense that we don't super belong, we don't like it. None of us like it. And then imagine that there's some ideologies that are based on the idea that we don't belong and we don't like it. And everyone comes together under the idea that none of us really feel like we belong and none of us like it. But you kind of fudge the numbers a little bit and you're like, all right, and we are all white and we hate everybody who's not. You know what I'm saying? It's like you just kind of fudge the numbers where it's like, okay, you were right up to the point where you made the conclusion about what the cause is. What I'm trying to argue is that the cause is that we no longer can like self-organize. We can't self-organize. That's the fucking cause. We need to be able to self-organize. The Melee community is a self-organizing group of human beings who have one thing in common. We like Melee. So all I want to know is like, I want to ask random people, like, what do you like? All right, well, where's the community around this thing that you like? Ernie, I know that I'm reaching. I told you just to assume that it's true. I'm not reaching because I've done literal years of research and have come to this one conclusion, okay? I can't explain it perfectly yet. If I could explain it perfectly, that would be great, but I can't. I'm right now explaining as much as I possibly can to you all so that you can help me make it, say what I'm trying to say in a way that's coherent. That's part of the point here. You understand? Yeah, I've literally been researching this topic my entire life. So here's my thesis, right? We have lost the ability to make an in-group. That's my whole fucking thesis. We have lost the ability to make even a small in-group. There are not in-groups that exist. And the fact that they don't exist and our natural human biases, there's a bias called out-group homogeneity bias. Out-group homogeneity bias. It basically means that we humans, when I say who is we, okay, who is we? Humans. This probably is social identity theory, but it's like basically all right, chill. Don't tell me that it is something yet, and if it really is, because what I think the thing is the thing that's wrong with everything. Don't tell who. Oh yeah, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't fucking tell me, dude. Don't tell me what it is. If I look up social identity theory and I don't read my exact shit, I'm gonna be mad. Don't tell me what it is. Actually, it would be a huge relief if somebody else had this, had just written this thing out. Henry Trefjel's greatest contribution to psychology is social identity theory. Okay, so yeah, I derived this shit, okay? So this is my shit. I made this up, okay? I made it up. It turns out that somebody already said it, and it's a major contribution. Where's the part where it says controversies? Okay, it's got greater explanatory than predictive. My shit's got predictive power. Watch for my shit, dude. Watch. I will talk about the narrative, because the narrative's a big part of this. Did social identity theory, did he talk about the narrative? He didn't talk about the narrative, dog. This is not social identity theory. This is my shit. But anyway, yeah, social identity theory for sure. Think about social media. Seriously, social media is a fucking problem in my opinion. Think about Smashboards as a case study, friends. Smashboards was one place, right? It was a destination, and we could all go. Again, I can't answer all the questions. I'm so sorry. Don't you think taking claim to an idea or thought could be a bit egocentric? Yes. Let me be egocentric for a second. I'm just trying to explain myself. Why are you trying to police me? How come I can't just explain myself? You know what? That's why this is my stream. I'm not going to get distracted. People are saying, stop reading chat. Okay, I'm going to tell you. This is why Twitch is so important. Now, look, I am not good at ignoring you guys. That's my greatest weakness. Why do I not keep it focused? Because I love y'all, and I care about you so much. But what's happening on this stream is what sucks on social media. A person can't get their true ideas out. How many of you have shit that you want to say that is important to you, and you feel like no one has the attention to sit and listen? Like a leader of an in-group, a leader of a group, a leader of a community, a leader of Melee, a leader of America, a leader of what the fuck ever needs to be able to say the shit that's on their mind and to like get their thoughts out. You also need to be able to like get feedback from the people. I care too much about what y'all say, but that's why they let me commentate, and I don't have to look at chat. I can just talk. I don't even need to look at what you guys say. That aside, Smashboards is a place where we had different forums for different characters. We had the whole overall community, and if you were a member of Smashboards, that was a sense of identity. We kind of all saw each other. There was you had like join date, you had number of posts and stuff. So Smashboards is like, it gives us enough of the markers that it's an in-group for sure, but also there's leaders. There are people who moderated the thing, and moderators actually get to organize a discussion. And so the great thing about moderators in any capacity is that moderators can make judgment calls. One of the things that sucks so bad, I feel, as is one of the first things that I said, is that we have lost the ability over social media and like in general to call a spade a spade. We have lost the ability to say, no, you are a blatant fucking bad actor. You're not listening. You don't give a shit. You're only here to distract us. Like, shut up. You're out. You're out, dog. You're out. You're out. We can't do that. We've lost the ability to do that. So moderation is super important. It is in that paper, Sense of Community. It talks about the boundary. It talks about membership. And it actually even talks about, this is like from back in the day, from the far past, that trolls actually have an adaptive purpose where people who break the rules get shunned. The people who break the rules get what they were looking for, which is basically they just wanted attention. Sometimes people do that. But then everybody on the inside, they see the thing that person got banned for, and it kind of increases the sense of identity and like the sense of the rules that we have and the way that we treat, why are the rules important and what do we do for people who break the rules, et cetera, et cetera. So actually, pushing people out actually helps the in-group define itself. In my opinion, one of the things that's super important for an in-group to survive, one of the things that's important for Melee to survive, because everything that I think is based on Melee, I'm not even kidding. All this stuff needs to evolve over time. The world changes all the time. And so you need leaders who are able to actually talk with the people and understand the issues and like say shit. And you also need leaders who the people have chosen. All right, so I'm talking about all this, and basically I'm saying all these things need to be true for us to feel a sense of belonging and identity, right? How did I get here? I used to think about this a lot. How did I get here? How did the people who, are community leaders in Melee get to be that way? Like, did they run for office? I see the word Blur in chat. Blur is a really interesting. Well, but Blur put a lot into Melee. He invested a lot of himself in. And so anyway, we trust him because of that. I feel that y'all trust me because I'm trustworthy. And I think as soon as I betray the community y'all will kick me out. Rightly so. If I did betray the community and you didn't kick me out, I'd be pissed off at you. Kick me out if I betray the community, but I never would. All right, so hold all these things in mind about Melee, right? And now ask yourself about, say, a school, a company, a government, the police. Do the leaders care? What happens if a leader does some shit that, like, shows that they don't care? Is there a consequence? So what the fuck is that about, right? So this is kind of, like, is it possible that that thing, that in-group, in other words, we could form a chess club. You know, I could form maybe a Richmond chess club or something, and maybe people would come together, and maybe people would like do the thing, and then maybe that could create a sense of community. Maybe that could create a place where I feel like I matter, and I've got like secure attachment to this group of people. But I feel that those places don't really exist where I can show up and be me and feel like I belong. Now, wait a minute. The plot thickens. I do see politics coming up. In politics, okay, in Melee, this is a better way to put it. In Melee, if you have a problem, now I'm not going to talk, let's not talk about like banning wobbling or whatever, but even that, banning wobbling, do people like listen when you have a problem? Here's my real question. In Melee, can you be yourself and like not get kicked out? Can you say what you think and not get kicked out? Do people like generally listen? Okay, switch over to politics. Can you say what you think? Does your opinion like matter at all? Who are the people that you can like appeal to in order to like try to change what like we are all saying? I don't know how many companies y'all have worked at, but like even at companies, you can think about companies and how many companies are out of touch with the customers. Is Melee leadership out of touch with the player base? Are we out of touch? Like, it's a big community, but are we out of touch? We're not out of touch. Like, we may be stupid, but we're not like super duper out of touch. But are companies out of touch with the community? Like, fuck yeah. Practically every company doesn't know anything. Like, with politics, you don't really fucking belong, dude. You're fitting in. I wrote it about Pika. That's actually the best way to put it. We're just taking fitting in. We don't belong. We're fitting in. Now, this is what I'm saying with the narrative. The narrative runs you in politics. You have to abide the narrative, right? You don't use your brain. No one cares what you think. Because no one can change the narrative. No one's in charge. No one's really in control. At least with Melee, we've got some control. Like, I can change the fucking narrative. I will die trying to change the narrative if I can't. I think the narrative of any in-group or whatever, I'm thinking about it like mythology, dog. I think mythology is what it is. You can make up your own mind about the narrative. That is true. But you can 100% change the political narrative. Can you change the political narrative? I feel that it is dangerous. I feel that many people feel that it is dangerous to like step out of line on, some things. You just can't be nuanced, dog. I said some shit about rolling in, right? In Melee, rolling in when you hit a certain level of play and you're shielding the ledge and someone's running at you, you just roll in because it beats run up grab, which is what every stupid new player does. And so the narrative becomes don't roll in. And the narrative is like, see, here's the thing. I've been too scared to talk about it for a long time, to be completely honest. My greatest fear is being seen as disorganized and inattentive and head in the clouds and ADD as fuck, basically. That's like my greatest fear. And so when I need to talk about things that are difficult to explain, I tend to just not talk. But I'm taking a risk here with y'all. And in general, you've been very, very supportive. I appreciate that. It helps me a lot. The child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. That's crazy. The narrative. One of the things that like really breaks my heart is when well-meaning people, I'm telling you, it's well-meaning people, this is when it really, really hurts my heart, are just trying to bring some nuance into the narrative. In other words, yes, roll in is bad at the ledge because it's super predictable. But I'm just trying to say that at a top level, rolling in becomes good because everyone and then you've got people coming out of the fucking woodwork saying, wow, you think rolling in is good, like you're an idiot, like blah 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 blah. In other words, you've gone against the narrative. And sometimes I sit and this is what's happened, right? I've spent a lot of time sitting and watching this thing happen, And I asked myself the question, like, why? Like, why do all these people feel threatened by this person just trying to add some nuance? Like, what is going on? I got one answer. I would love to hear, other answers, but I want them to be coherent. I want them to not be little local descriptions. The Dr. Gray says, I just described the internet. Okay, if I describe the internet, then basically we've got something going on that's affecting, like, a lot of fucking people that are getting a lot of us to, like, act in these ways that make no sense. Why? They want to fit in, Scrub Jr. Yes, I believe that is true. And why do they want to fit in so bad? Why? It's the human condition. We want to fit in. Big Salt. Where are the places where you belong, Big Salt? You find a person who feels a sense of secure belonging. Ask them how much they want to fit in. Find me a person who feels a sense of secure belonging. Let me see how much they'll do to fit in. Memes go far for belonging. They actually do. Can you truly have a sense of secure belonging? Pasta seat, I do. I swear to God I do, and it's with you guys. I'm not kidding. The only place that I feel it is with you guys. I'm not with the Melee community. I swear to God, it's the only place in the world. Okay, here's one other thing. I'm gonna say one other thing. This is gonna get you. We're gonna talk about nuance. This is actually, I think this is gonna impress you guys. How many of y'all have seen 1.5 Press video? Watch for Rolling Rocks. Press 1 if you've seen this video. Let's think through how many different people needed to make how many different realizations and write how many different documents and make how many different videos such that that guy could actually put together that whole speed run. Like, think about what I want you to think about, and this is even true in Melee. Like, think about how nuanced we are able to get about the game and the game engine, and how complex of a level we're able to, coherently discuss these games, such that we can do something that's like, if you could picture it as like building a structure where it's basically rocket science. It's like so insanely precise. And while I'm on the subject, like, rocket science does exist. Like, human beings have built rockets. Do I feel my position in the community? Excuse my view on the community. No. That's a bad answer. Yes, of course it does. I would say that if I were asked, is Melee cooler than, like, X other community that is kind of close, I'm biased as fuck. But, like, it's super blatant that Melee is a better community and much more functional than a ton of work communities, government-based communities, like, whatever you call it, organizations, like manufactured organizations, systemic organizations, ones that are built on transaction and on, systems of power and control, and not built on trust, built on relationships. The Melee community is built on trust. Like, that's just, like, literally all that it's built on. It's just literally built on trust. And I'm sure that y'all have heard that money is just based on trust. In other words, money is worth jack shit. Money is worth literally nothing. We just all trust that, the system of money or whatever is going to be enforced. And, like, it will. Read Bitcoin Standard. I'm down to read it. I don't know what the deal is with crypto. I really don't. I think that whatever crypto is talking about is, like, not going to happen. I think that I have a lot of the... So, and here's the thing that makes me think that I'm right, Silver. Here's the thing that... And I will tell you, I spent 2 years, I'm not fucking kidding, this is no joke, 2 years sitting and, like, crying, trying to understand if there... Why should I think that this idea about belonging is right? Like, it's probably fucking wrong, right? Like, there's no way that I came up with some idea that, like, is right, that, like, has monumental importance or whatever, which I now believe is true. But it took me 2 years to, like, be okay with that. And a big reason why I think this is because this is all my original shit. And every time that, like, I look to, like, what are people talking about or what are people thinking about, they've got, like, huge stacks of my shit. It's just, like, not complete. You know what I'm saying? It's, like, it's not the whole picture. I feel like I've got the whole picture. It's like everybody's missing, like, one thing, and it's always about belonging and about identity. It's always about belonging and about identity. Belonging and identity are like two sides of one coin, and apparently that's an idea too, but that, like, not everything else is built on top. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've got, like, all the... So anyway. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I had a wonderful time talking with you. I can't wait to see and, follow up on Twitter and stuff. Yes, please share stuff with me over Twitter. Check out Sense of Community, 1986 paper, and Ultra Social Animal. They're both fucking good.